insurance friends. Happy January. Thank you for joining us for another Insurance Careers Movement LinkedIn Live. I am so excited because Ahva is with us. Hooray, hooray, hooray. Ahva, how are you today? Oh, wait, I can't hear you. Wait, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. I can hear you now.
Wonderful. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm excited.
I'm so excited. Okay, so insurance friends and colleagues, I am so excited for you to meet Ahva and the amazing company Symba. They are doing phenomenal things in the tech space and really helping build vibrant, amazing, diverse talent pipelines. Before we get into all that, though, it is 2023. It is January. Ahva, I would like to know if you have any New Year's resolutions. Are you doing a word of the year or goals? What is something that's happening for you for the kickoff of the year?
Absolutely. Well, happy New Year's to everyone listening. And I do a lot of, I think, word intentions, vision boarding goals. And for me, my word this year is momentum. So really powering through and keeping up the excitement of the work and impact that we do in diversity, equity, inclusion, and with our customers. But also one other goal that we have as a team is strengthening our leaders and community that we have around diversity, equity, inclusion. And so we launched a really exciting executive interview series called #Open Up the Workforce. So we're going to bring on C-level leaders and executives to talk about how we're going to create access to the workforce.
Okay, so wait, tell everyone the hashtag again so they can start following right now. Write it down, put it on a Post-it note so you can all follow. Tell them the hashtag again.
Yes, #Open Up the Workforce.
That's fantastic. Wow, you are starting just straight out of the gate so strong. And I love your word momentum. And I feel like where we are from the past couple years, like 2023 is so exciting, where I feel like things are so unleashed in new ways and there's such transformation happening across the workspace as well in people's personal lives and so momentum that is really fantastic. So I am committed to reading more, and so I feel like the past couple of years have been such a whirlwind. And so I really want to focus on my learning, whether it's reading a physical book. I love books, but I also love Audible. So I can go for a walk and listen to a book while I'm walking or while I'm doing dishes or things like that. So I'm excited to learn more as well. And so I think this is a great segue into talking about Symba, because I want companies to learn, or excuse me, companies who are on the call or watching after, to learn more about Symba and really just see how do we build momentum? How do we do things faster, smarter in 2023? And what I love, exactly what you're talking about with community, I love collaborating and bringing people together. So what problem were you all trying to solve when you were creating Symba? What did you see out there in the talent landscape that you were like, we need to do something about it? Tell us about that.
Yes. Well, thanks again for having me. I'm just such a big advocate and believer in the work you're doing with the insurance careers movement and love to support it any way we can. At Symba, we're Symba not for the Lion King, but for symbiotic relationships. And that's really what we believe early careers and talent development programs are all about. The intern, apprentice gaining value, as well as the organization. My co-founder, Nick, and I have done a dozen internships combined, and every experience was different than the next. And all 6 of my internships were unpaid. And we thought, how are we creating access to the workforce that is equitable if these opportunities are not paid? And when we sat down with talent leaders, when we started building Symba, we learned about all the different challenges, spreadsheets, different tooling, just to stand up some of these initiatives. So we wanted to remove those burdens. We thought, what if we could make it easier for you to access talent, whether that be remote, hybrid? And we were well ahead of the game. We started, Symba back in 2018. So at first it was a little bit of...
You would have known, right? Like you were like way before everyone thought the world would shut down. So
yes, well, we wanted to be a solution, right? Our goal is to ensure that companies double down on their most strategic recruiting practice, and we give them the tools that they need while ensuring that their participants have the best experience possible, setting them up for success.
oh my gosh, there's so much we could unpack just right there. Okay, so 6 internships alone, and I saw that one of your internships was with the State Department, which is just amazing, and then that your co-founder had 6. That is phenomenal experience, but it also shows like it is really crazy to think about the number of unpaid internships that are out there. But I am seeing from my perspective with the insurance careers movement, more companies are committed to paid internships and providing benefits and amazing support during the experience. And so that's been exciting to see that change happening. And so I'm really proud of companies. I want to give a shout out to Rise, the Rising Insurance Star Executives, they do a top 50 list of internships. And so they highlight some of the exact traits that you were talking about that are really important in those experiences. So that's phenomenal. And then the insurance industry, we love a good spreadsheet. So that's so funny because I can just imagine the spreadsheets that our companies largely are using to track their interns or apprenticeships or young talent. And so you're right, with technology and where we are today, there has to be a better way to do things. Okay, so we've talked a little about momentum and how do we learn and do things in new ways? How do we transform? So our friends over at the Jacobson Group, their third quarter, when we look at their talent labor study reports and this fourth quarter that came out, it's a really challenging labor market for the insurance industry as well as many other job sectors. And hiring for the insurance industry continues to be top of one of the challenges. So, how do you look at internships and apprenticeships? Like, how can that be a beacon of light when we think about young talent? And we're competing against so many industries to bring people in, talented, diverse people. So, how do you see that as a beacon of light?
Yes. Well, we are such big advocates for these initiatives and programs. Well, first of all, for apprenticeships, you can open up the job description, right? Because you're training somebody for 2 years. So they don't even need to have a degree or a certain other things that kind of were required in the past. So you can really open up your talent pool and pipeline. And it was amazing, some of the research that recently came out that showed apprentices after the 2 year training period, 90% of them stay with an organization for 5 years.
Wait,
The
say that
one
again. Say it again. I want to make sure
Yeah.
people are hearing this. Call it out. It's so exciting.
90% of them stay with the organization for at least 5 years after. So the most expensive thing is when you invest in talent and they leave, right? That is, usually 1.5 times their salary. And internal interns as well have a really strong retention rate of almost 70% internal interns a few years after their program. So it's really like very clear. I mean, the metrics and the data is there. I think it's important to see what is the narrative and have metrics in place and a visual way to see the ROI of these programs so you can continue investing resources. These great things about these programs is that enables these companies not to be so I think strict about talent or reactive. You can build pipeline of talent, right? You can start to build brand awareness and really excite people about the insurance industry. Because when you think about the current market, one really strong suit that the insurance industry has is that it's recession proof. Right.
Right.
Things are changing. We've seen a lot of layoffs in certain industries, in the tech sector, the news, and that is rattling. But I think that, insurance can now play to that narrative. Hey, we offer strong job security. We have a growth trajectory in place, and you have a lot of mentorship and guidance and support, and you'll have a job here for as long as, you want. So I do think that that's a really great thing we can double down on.
I think it's so exciting and it's so powerful to see how we can bring people in and really just create what you're saying, this very robust retention. And it's phenomenal. We know that's one of the big challenges. I also want to call out something you mentioned about degrees and internships and apprenticeships. So just this morning on the Today Show, they were talking about the paper ceiling. And I'm like, oh my gosh, they must know you and I are chatting today on LinkedIn Live. So they had a whole conversation about how the requirement for degrees is really holding some people back and the barrier that it's creating. I want to give a shout out to Al Crook. Al is over at Zurich, and Zurich has really been a leader in how do you look at that paper ceiling and can you rip it apart? Can you really make a difference? And so years ago, similar to what you were saying with your story, way before COVID, Zurich went through and looked at their job descriptions and largely were able to remove the degree requirement for so many positions, which opened up that talent pool in such a big way. So I know it's a big conversation for current job positions as well as apprenticeships. Like we're seeing a move away from apprenticeships, but in the internship space, are you seeing that change too? Like are companies open to internship paths that are not your traditional college student? Like, are you seeing that shift as well? Or is internship still largely geared towards the college applicant?
We are seeing that shift quite a bit in a whole host of different ways. We're seeing returnships, so moms returning back to the workforce, or leaders who maybe took a break, or even sometimes when people learn a new skill and went through boot camp and want to come in and kind of learn a new experience. So we're seeing a lot of growth there. One thing that's also amazing to see is the growth of high school interns, and how proactive this next generation is into accessing these opportunities. We're really, really proud to partner with Inroads that supports diverse students through the pipeline and giving them great opportunities to all paid internships. And that's really what we believe in. I think it's really, really powerful.
That's really exciting. And so I know for many of you that jump on our LinkedIn lives and come to the insurance careers movement, you're always looking for who else you can collaborate with. How else can you help provide more opportunities, expand diversity, equity, and inclusion in our industry? So Inroads, that's a great organization. Thank you for sharing that, Ahva. That's awesome that you all partner with them. And the returnships for moms or parents coming back to the workforce. I really appreciate that. I hadn't heard that phrase yet. And so I think that's really exciting. So that's awesome. Okay, so we get people in through the internships and the apprenticeships. And one of the things I want to give a shout out to Travelers. I think they do a phenomenal job with how they share their internship experience and how they help tell their story on their social media platforms. And so they talk about the mentoring programs that you'll have. They talk about the rotational assignments, all the different ways you get to interact with leaders in the organization, the skills you're going to build. They also break out and talk about the social functions, how you're going to build a community, which is really great. And then Travelers, I have the opportunity to work with them closely. I see firsthand how they bring it to life. So their experience matches up. You can see it on their social media channels. Same with Philadelphia Insurance Company. They do a phenomenal job of here's what we're telling you for your internship, and then here's what we're providing. So how can real-time analytics, how can data help managers, like how can a platform like Symba, how do you provide that information, and like what value is that? So we have a promise of the experience and then the actual experience, and where does like a platform like Symba come in to help with that?
Absolutely. So one thing that you were kind of mentioning about all these programs is, and something that is interesting is every program that we've worked with is very unique.
Right.
And every company does it completely different, and which is makes it somewhat interesting as a startup team as we're trying to build process and build something that is scalable. But one thing that we've learned is the power like of data that you had mentioned,
Mm.
and there really isn't an industry standard or rubric of how we collect this
Mhm.
information to create ultimately a standard, right? Because this is experiential learning is the most powerful
Right.
form of education, I would argue. And so with our surveys that we've created, and we've worked with experts and leaders in the field to understand what are the key values and traits of an organization. Why does talent convert and make a decision to work at an organization? What are some of the insights that we can give you alerts? So like at risk, if someone is not participating or not continuing through their flow and activity, because some of these activities are even more important when you get to remote and hybrid programs.
Right.
So
Right.
we do a lot of this type of sentiment and information gathering. At minimum, we do a midpoint and end of program review. And that way you have dashboards and insights that you can share with your executive team, because it is important, as you said, does the promise align with what we delivered? And it's a simple question. Would you recommend this program? Did this live up to the experience? There's a few ways of phrasing it, but we have a template that we provide a lot of resources for. And that way teams can understand year over year, how do I get better, right? If I saw that, our conversion rate dipped or our conversion rate amongst our diverse population dipped, how do we double down? How do we create inclusion and belonging so that we can fix this and step up? And that's where we really get excited about sharing research and insights and being partners with our customers.
That's fantastic. So the insurance industry, we love data, like we love information. So this is like the right niche because we're so immersed in when you said at risk, like we love looking at risk and we love looking at how can we build more resilient, whether it's a nat cat or whether it's a talent pool, like how can we really look at how can we look at information to help us refine our strategies and approaches. So that's really exciting to hear how the data is coming into the managers. And then the insurance industry loves a dashboard. Like that is like definitely like our wheelhouse across the spectrum of the industry is we love to be able to look at what is information retention. So that's really exciting to see. So I have to share. So I love to do like LinkedIn Live and I love technology. I'm also horrible at technology. So I'm the person that's like, oh my goodness, I hope I can get all of these different platforms to come together. And so we know that people are all over the board in the tech space. Something like this type of system, is it easy? Is it hard? Is it middle? Like, is there a lot of training to use this? Like, how does that, like, just from a user type of experience show up?
Yes. Well, obviously, I'm biased as one of the co-founders. That the experience is really seamless. But from our customers, we have heard how easy it is to set up. Everything can be self-service, but we have an amazing customer success team that works with our customers to set them up. And typically, our onboardings are only 30 minutes, and our teams are able to run with it. We can set up integrations, so you wouldn't have to worry about bringing tech tools or piecing them together yourself. So we're big on those with project management tools, other aspect to make it very seamless. Our goal when we were building Symba is how do we do everything in either 1, 2, or 3 clicks max? And so that's kind of how we built the whole platform. And we really do spend time studying our users' behavior to see, are people able to click on the right thing? Are they getting stuck in a certain way? And we have a lot of analysis of engagement, and we capture our NPS scores quite regularly and get feedback. Our customers love to be a part of the startup journey with a woman-founded company and a CTO. It's really exciting opportunity because we're building with our customers, right? As this industry is changing and growing, our customers are very excited about leaving their mark and being a part of the innovation process with us. So we're always optimizing and improving that.
Oh, that's great. I love that it's that constant evolution and improvement. So, and what we started with earlier, collaboration, how do we bring people together? So it really sounds like a great community. So, and then I also love that through your platform, you'll be able to have insights across industries as well. So that, to me, that is really exciting. The insurance industry is incredibly collaborative in the talent space, and we're constantly looking at how can we help each other move faster, how can we help accelerate more opportunities. So that's exciting to see as well, like where your data could go, to help share industry best practices and standards too. So that's exciting for the road ahead. Okay, so I also want to talk on, that was a great segue. You are an award-winning, venture-backed, amazing female-founded company. And so we love to talk about careers and tech in the insurance industry. What has been the biggest challenge and the biggest positive surprise from creating Symba? So kind of both ends, like what's been the biggest challenge and then what's been the biggest, like, happiest surprise of all of this?
Yes. So as building a startup, there are a lot of challenges, but I think that's what's so exciting, right? You have an opportunity to think fast and be
Right.
innovative. So I would say one of the biggest challenges we faced was initially getting people on board. It was very difficult when we first launched Symba in 2018 to get people to be aligned around rethinking their internship and early career practice, to try out remote or try out hybrid, and to really think through how do we need to migrate from spreadsheets, right? Sometimes it's a social behavioral change that can be challenging, but once we see the results, I would say that's the most gratifying thing, when you have customers who are so excited about what you're doing and want to be a part of the innovation process with you. I think that's where my co-founder and I, we light up. We have a customer success and like a quote channel where we get like quotes from our customers who say, this helped me do this helped us achieve this. I think it's so inspiring because we get to work with people who are shaping our future leaders. Like the people that we work with on a daily basis are passionate about changing the future workforce, creating economic opportunities. So we love what we do. We get to work with the best people. And I think that's really what inspires us to get through any rough patch that, of the ups and downs of the startup experience.
That's so great. That's so great. And I love how we came back to spreadsheets and also learning. So learning as well, like we're so full circle because like learning, well, the way we've done things for so long can be so comfortable. It is such an exciting, transformative era, especially as we come through the past couple of years where people are so open to new ideas. And I feel like go back to you, momentum. This is such an exciting moment in time where people are really open to, is there a way we can do something that will drive better results, that will drive more engagement, that will give us more information to do things in a better, more meaningful way, and will create a more diverse workforce. And so that's really fantastic. So I love what you just shared and how that is all coming together. It's like, and it's only January. Like, how exciting is that?
Yes,
It's
and we
so
need leaders to continue to double down on that because I understand myself, right? As a team, we are, and every time we adopt a new tool, there's a learning curve, there's a
right.
challenge, and sometimes it's difficult and you don't want to make a change. But 9 times out of 10, when we make the leap, we are so grateful and excited, and usually the results are happening pretty quickly. So we really encourage leaders to keep thinking through, being open to working with startups, and thinking through these strategies on top of innovating your recruiting process.
Okay, so I want to build on that. So, all my insurance colleagues, all of my network in the financial services, and you worked at the State Department, so I'm going to call out all my White House friends as well. When you are thinking about where you are going to invest for your talent strategies, I hope you will consider Ahva and Symba as an opportunity. When we think about how do we advance diversity, equity, and inclusion, we're looking at programs, all the time, like what's our supplier diversity? Right here, this is a female founded company. It is so exciting how they are trying to build a more vibrant, diverse workforce and how they will enhance your internal talent strategies. And when you think about the cost savings on retention of bringing in talent and keeping them versus having to do new hires, it's so exciting. So please check out Symba, read more. Ava's their website. They have a great blog post on there. You can hear all kinds of great talent insights. They would love to collaborate with you and talk with you. So that's really exciting. Something else you can do is you can like our live stream. So give us a like and then share it on your LinkedIn network. Companies are often talking about, well, what can we do to really help new businesses? How do we support startups? You like their content, you share it, you leave a comment. So I'm asking you to do that as well for today. And then reach out to Ahva and her team and talk with them about their insights on the talent space. It is so, so exciting what's happening. I'm so excited for you. Okay, so my final question will be, if you could go back 5 years in your career, what advice would you give yourself? Like, because there's been a lot happening. So what career advice would you give yourself if you could go back 5 years?
That's a great question. I would first tell myself, like, 5 years ago, like, keep powering through. You've got this. Like, keep doing it. I'm so happy that my co-founder and I stuck with the course and kept powering through. You hear these stories about resilience, and I'm just grateful that we did. One thing I will share, is making sure that you do provide pilots where you're creating value and you're also having exchange for that value. So don't, I think, as a startup founder, make sure you're not giving the platform away for free and making sure people are getting the value that they need from those pilot exchanges. So creating really clear rubrics of what is the ROI. So we
Right.
just built out an ROI calculator to actually demonstrate to chief financial officers, here is the financial impact of implementing something like Symba. Your internship program is not a CSR strategy, it is your most strategic recruiting plan. So I think getting more and more focused on the data would probably be another area I'd give myself advice on. But I do want to say thank you again, Marguerite, for having me. I want to say kudos to the insurance industry. I'm excited about all the innovation that's happening, and I know it's only the beginning, and would love to be supportive in any way, whether it's through research or a platform.
Oh, that's so great. That's great advice. Great advice. And it is so busy too. There is so much happening. I'm sure the past 5 years have gone by like in a blink as well. And so I think it's phenomenal the advice that you just shared. I also want to give a shout out to go back to Al Crook, talk about Zurich. Their apprenticeship program is amazing. And what they have done in the past several years is truly transformative as well. And so be sure to check out Zurich in the news and on their website how they are transforming the talent pipeline through their apprenticeship program. It is phenomenal. I've been able to speak on panels with one of their interns. She was amazing, but just seeing how apprenticeship programs can open doors for others, non-traditional job seekers, and it is absolutely incredible the talent we can bring in, just incredibly high skilled, highly smart people that are just looking for a unique opportunity. So be sure to check out what's happening over there. They're doing a phenomenal job. Aon is also doing an amazing job with apprenticeships, as is the Hartford. And I know they would love to collaborate with you as we build more apprenticeship programs throughout the insurance industry. And the internships, again, go back to Rise, check them out. I also want to highlight that we sent out this morning the February Insurance Careers Month Social Media Content Guide. Go to the Insurance Careers Trifecta website to the resources tab. Huge shout out to Insurity. Thank you, Kirsten. Thank you to the whole team over there. I really appreciate Jason and Rebecca for all of your work on all the resources. It's going to be an exciting February. And I want to also highlight today the Dr. Lee Nunnery Naya Marsh report. It was released today. It is the next steps in the journey. It is a phenomenal report. They have been working on it. There, I believe, Susan shared 650 some people participated in this next report. It is, I know it is going to have very interesting insights on how the industry is moving forward on diversity, equity, inclusion. They are doing a webinar today. Make sure you check that out. I'm going to circle back now to Ahva. Ahva, I'm just so appreciative of your passion for internships, apprenticeships, the talent space. How do you provide real-time information? How do you help us work smarter, faster, in a very forward-looking way? I know everyone is going to be so excited to learn more about the great work that you're doing. For all of you that are watching and are watching the playback, reach out to myself or reach out to Ahva. We would love to chat with you further. We appreciate everyone's work on talent in our industry. And if you are a job seeker, come join the insurance industry. That's it for today. Ahva, any other comments before we wrap up?
All good on my end. Thank you, everyone. And together, let's open up the workforce.
Sounds great. Thanks, Ahva, for joining. Thanks, everyone, for stopping by. Bye. Have a great day.